So Catherine and I met a while ago on social media, Instagram or Facebook.
I think that was Instagram during the pandemic, just when the pandemic started.
Yes, just when the pandemic started,
Yeah.
yes. So we became friends via social media. Now we became really good friends, and we partnered up with many things. So Catherine is based in the States. She's a business coach and many other things. I think many other things now you're going to have to explain what many other things are. But I've seen your post on social media, and you're very, very encouraging to entrepreneurs and mothers, and basically to help people find the balance. So for this particular International Women's Day, we wanted to really connect together and just help and make people realize how to break the bias. I know you've gone through so many things, but those things has made you who you are. So maybe just from your story, you're able to learn how you maneuvered and did all those things. I know you have a backstory. I don't want to let it out. I want it to come from you. Yes, but I just need to let everyone know that you're an amazing woman. You've achieved so much, and we all would love to be part of like you, and you motivate us to be better people. So Catherine, just take it away. Let's learn more from you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody that joined us. It's so exciting to be here. I really appreciate our connection and the opportunity, for us to be here. And especially, today for International Women's Day, right? Like we are at different parts of the world and we come with different, baggage, and sometimes it's just like we forget that there are another woman everywhere in the world going through the same and having similar challenges that we forget, right? So yeah, I'm Katherine Beltran. I am a business coach for new entrepreneurs, and I help them to set up their business in order to be successful. But who is Katherine, right? Like I am from Colombia. Yes, I came to the United States, but I'm from a third world country. I came because I want to do my master's degree here in the United States. But I started to, and I finished my master, and I'm like, okay, I want to work in corporate, and I started to work in corporate. And while working in corporate, I got so many obstacles. One being a Latina in an environment of just, people from the United States, white people. So it was really challenging to climb the corporate ladder, right? It was like trying to, like walking around with my resume, trying to prove to everybody, excuse me, that I was able to do whatever I set up myself to do. And yes, I climbed the corporate ladder. I worked for 15 years. I was a vice president of one of the biggest nonprofit organizations here in the United States. But I'm a mom and I have 3 kids. Actually, they're 21, 18, and 13, but my 13-year-old has autism and was to a point that I have to, I keep telling to myself, well, I have this security, right? I work in corporate, I have my paycheck every month, my benefits, health insurance, my kids, and all these kind of things. And then it's like, okay, I'm just working 80 hours a week, or just traveling 4 times a month. But when you think about the 4 times a month, it's just like I'm out of my house almost every week for several days at a time. And I have to take the decision to go to do what set my soul on fire. That was to help others and on my terms, not under an organization. So it took me a year and a half to leave, and then I left. And I never looked back since then. In the journey, I have so many things I find myself. And one of the things that I do, because I'm a coach by heart, and a coach is not somebody to tell you what to do. A coach is somebody to help you find from within what you need to change to be successful. Doesn't matter if it's in business, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to change something on your life, the best advice you that I can give you is that nobody knows you better than you. Right. So it's just like looking yourself in the mirror and really accept or peel that onion, right? Like when we say, like I see a lot in social media, if you are not posting on social media, or if you are not, making a reel and people come just brush it off like I'm a perfectionist. And it's not the perfectionism that is, holding you back. Is something more than the perfectionism. Are you being afraid of being judged? Do you don't feel good on your skin? Do you feel ugly? Because for us as women, it's just like, it's at all these things. So at the end of the day, it's not the perfectionism. So when you are a businesswoman, or an entrepreneur, or if you work in corporate, it's important that you have clarity and start to stand up for what you believe. And this is something that I say to everybody and to my clients, is it's important that you stand up for what you believe, not for what is the trend, because that's why trends are, it's just like what is the now, right? But we are not what is now. We are like what is our essence. So as I start to go through this journey, and especially with social media, that is so easy to lose your identity. It's so easy to start to post and talk about what everybody's talking, even if inside of ourselves, our subconscious mind, like kind of the same thing with time, right?
Yeah.
We start to go with the flow, and we don't stop, and we start to live in this autopilot. So more than we are aware of what we need to do in order to be successful is what is going to make us unique, and that's how we're going to be able to impact others. So at the end of the day, like for me, it's like serving others is the more important thing.
So you like being a coach? Has that helped you in growing?
For me, being a coach, I was a coach while working in corporate, because I have, in order to have my last leadership position, I have to be certified as a lifestyle coach, because I train all the coaches in the United States that deliver programs, evident disease prevention programs, so programs that prevent diabetes and high blood pressure. So I train all the coaches in the United States that go inside of communities and companies and teach people how to prevent those diseases. So I was a master trainer. And after that, I became an executive and a business coach in order to have a more successful team. And being a coach is something that outside, and this is why so many people get confused and get, being a coach is not somebody that is coming to tell you what to do. Being a coach is somebody to tell you, realize what you need to change from within, and ask you those provoking questions and help you to peel the onion in order to be successful. So for me, being a coach, I can say that has been transformational in the way that I'm able to see how somebody can get to the aha moment. And just, it's like when you go to kindergarten and you have this wonderful teacher that you never forget. So that's sometimes how I feel, because as people that work with me, they get to the realization, or sometimes that's not what they want to do, or that's not how something as simple as that's not what they want to charge, to coming and crying on a session because they realize that they don't have self-worth, and because of a coaching session. So what I would say, one thing that I learned and was my transformation too, is people has the understanding that to be successful, just following the marketing plan or a business plan, or you're gonna be able to be successful. But that's the easy part, because I can give you the plan to be successful. I can give you the blueprint, but if you don't do it in the way that makes sense to you, you probably are not gonna finish. And you probably are not gonna have the self-discipline, and you're not gonna have, you know, at the end of the day, that's the easy part. The hardest part is work on yourself in order to do all these kind of things. But if you don't work on yourself first, if you don't know what is holding you back, if you don't, you know, if you have limiting beliefs from money to self-worth to personal development, doesn't matter how many marketing plans or how many courses you do, you are not going to be successful.
So for this year, Break the Bias, what are the biasness that you faced in your life?
What are the what?
The biasness, like what has stopped you? What made you not? What are the like challenges, the biasness specifically that has been affecting you?
Things that have been affecting me, you know, and I will say like now it's not more that affect me, because I don't let those things to affect me. I can say that has been challenging, like I said before, like coming, I work for them, you know, the online space is people from everywhere around the world, right? But my audience is 90% from the United States. And I, you know, and I don't, you know, I don't cater to the Hispanic market, right? And I have an accent. So that has been one of the challenges. And that has been many things that I have encountered in my life when I moved to the States, is my accent. And I'm very aware of, but it's, you know, it's who I am. I know it's my accent, you know, it's what makes me me, and it's my country and my culture and so many things. However, in the real world, you know, people shut the doors, or you don't get the client, or you don't get the contract, or you don't get a presentation, or you don't get to be a speaker, because it's something as simple as that. That can be ignorance and can be whatever it is, but it's the way that it is. And I see it, you know, all the time. And I live it all the time. So I can say that that's what?
How do you deal with when something like that happens to you?
Now I just move on, you know. Now it's just like the best advice that I can, you know, that I can tell somebody is that is what it is. The people that resonates with you and the people that really cares about you are the people that are not going to have that baggage, right? That bias, because it is the bias, and doesn't, nothing has to do my knowledge or where I'm from or what I have to what I know and how I can help people, or how I can help you or anybody else. Unfortunately, that is one of the things that I can tell you that, you know, that I have dealt all my life since I moved to the States.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yes, is the accent, and is the misunderstanding of the people, and you're being judged. And here in the United States, we have been divisive for many, you know, many years, from, you know, from last president, and it's hard. It's hard because people is forgetting like really who we are, right? The human side. So I would say that this is one of the things that I have to deal, you know, on a regular basis.
Okay. I know a lot of women usually suffer from imposter syndrome, where we believe we're not good enough, or people are gonna find us out about it. What's your opinion on that?
You know, I don't suffer from imposter syndrome. I can say that yes, there are many, you know, many new entrepreneurs, or even I see people, you know, when I used to interview people at, you know, when I was at corporate to work with me, or even people that, you know, right now they work in my team, they don't feel that they can do it, right? Or they don't feel that they are good enough. or they're unfit. But at the end of the day, what I say is like, it's not that you are not good enough. You know, it's internal. And that's what I say from the beginning, you know, the work has to be done internally. So if there is imposter syndrome, what is that? What is causing you that? What is making you feel that you are less than? And the question for me as a coach, for somebody that has imposter syndrome, is like, do you feel that you are less than what or less than who? Because that's what is causing you the imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not as good as whoever is doing the same, or as not as good at whatever it is. And that's what you have to find. And if you have imposter syndrome, like anything else, right, you cannot let those things stop you. And those are one of the things that, and like perfectionism, are going to stop you and are going to prevent you to take action and move forward, because you don't feel that you're good enough. You feel that you're fooling, you know, people. And at the end of the day, they don't know. I can tell you one thing that I learned from when I was a Zumba instructor. I was a Zumba instructor for 3 years after I have my last kid, right?
And you're still working in corporate time?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And I have to leave my Zumba teaching because I have to travel too much. So I couldn't commit to my classes. But I can tell you that that was another journey, that, you know, like becoming a Zumba instructor. And I was very good and very popular. But I can tell you that I'm from a Zumba instructor, from every, you know, and there are many things that I learned from Zumba that I apply to my life, right? Even those today. And this is one of the things, when you are a Zumba instructor, one of the things, or a, you know, or any fitness, whatever class, can be a step, can be kickboxing, right? When there is a choreography, nobody knows if you screwed up. People is gonna follow. They're gonna keep doing it. They don't know if now I have to do 2 to the right and 3 to the left, because I'm the instructor, right?
Yeah.
So that's an example of imposter syndrome. When you show up, nobody knows. You are the expert. And people that is looking at you is because they are like 2, 3 steps behind, you know, behind you. So they're not gonna, you know, it's all on your head. People doesn't know, it's on your head. And it's okay to screw up. It's okay to don't be perfect. It's okay. You just show up, you just do it. People is not gonna know. It's all on your head, because you are the one that has to know the choreography, right? So, yeah.
Okay. So what is one of the benefits, or maybe one of the advice you can give a woman who wants to start their own business and they probably have no idea what to do? What would be the way you can guide them, exactly, especially during your business coaching process?
Yeah. So the first thing is, you know, like really looking, like if you're going to start a business, I will say like there is a totally different if you're going to start a business to make a living out of that. So like for example, I'm a business, this is my job. So if I don't get clients, I don't, you know, I don't pay the mortgage, I don't pay my car, my kids, we don't need, you know, that's my job. It's different that when you have, you know, you want to start your own business and you have a side hustle. So this doesn't matter if you make $100 more or $500 more a month. It's different. The input and the effort that you're going to put is different. So I'm going to talk about, let's say that you want to start a business because you want to make a living out of this business, right? So the first thing that I can advise you is look for something that you have a passion to do. And more than a passion, that you know, is a skill that you have, because it's going to be easier for you than to go and learn to do something new. So I see many people getting into the MLMs or selling Herbalife or selling all, you know, all these things, and because they have that idea. But at the end of the day, when you work on those MLMs, you go under what they told you to do. So if you have your business, the first thing is just like identify what you really want to do, have clarity how you're going to do it. Like, what do you need to start this business? What skills that you have? So if you want to sell and you never have sales, so what skills that you need to become a better seller, or, to sell, to be able to sell more. If you need, if you need to have a certification, if you need to have a training, if what do you need to, to start your business. The other thing, why? Because knowledge is power. The other thing that I will say is find something that is already in high demand. Most people think that if there, oh yeah, but there are too many people, there are too many coaches, there are too many people selling, this thing, and there, if there are too many coaches and too many virtual assistants, there are too many, because it's the market. So that means that if we are too many of that, it's because people is needing those services. So if you are in a niche where there are just too little, it's because people is not buying that. So you know, if you want to make money, you want to stay with, under a niche or an industry that has a lot of people is doing the same. It's gonna be easier for you to market your services. And the other thing is, social media. You have to be willing to get out on social media and be visible. There is not another way around. Why? Because we are all on the phone. No matter what we're doing, is everything on the phone. There's not anything like more TV or TV ads or all these things. That's like no, everything is on the phone. So you have to be willing to get up, be visible, work on that, and start to to grow an audience. The other thing that I will say is regarding your money mindset is key, because I see that there, especially in women, so many women that they put limitation to their income, and there are different reasons, and can be cultural. For example, I'm from a third world country, and I remember that my dad kept saying like money doesn't grow on trees, right?
Yeah.
And there are different things, and people that has money is greedy. And so as we grow up with that mentality, when you want to have your own business, you start put those limitations that start to come true. And it's not just about the money. You start to believe like, if what I'm charging is too much, people is not going to be able to pay. So even if it's too much, are you ready? Right? So and being clear of how much money you want to make. If you want to make $1 million, come on, it's okay. That doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make you greedy. So it's important to work on that.
Okay. I know you have 3 kids. So how do you balance your life, your family life, and your business as well? Considering you're an entrepreneur, so it's a bit of a catch-22. How do you balance it?
Yeah, my oldest one is 21, so she lives in New York. She doesn't live with me, but she called me like 10 times a day. But she has my schedule in the way that she knows that I was going live with you today. She knows that I'm going live after that. She knows, like she can call me around those times. My older daughter, she is 18 and she is in her last year of high school. And my little one that has autism, he's at school and he has therapy and he has psychiatrist appointments. I'm very organized. So I move my schedule around my kids, and these are the times that I'm available to work. There are some days, like for example, yesterday, I have to run errands in the morning that I cannot compromise. I couldn't do it. Like I have to do groceries. So I have to do groceries, go to the bank. My daughter is moving to Italy, so I have to do some paperwork for her. So I did that in the morning. Then was time to pick them up. Then I sit down to work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and I work until 10 p.m. So just balancing is like balancing for me is being able to have, to fulfill the needs of my kids, but at the same time to be able to be there for my, for my business. And probably this is because I work in corporate. People has the illusion that the CEO like the CEO is the one that get up and, you know, do whatever, or take the vacation, what they want to take the vacation. The CEO in any company is the one that works more than anybody else, and the responsibility is on him or on her. If she screwed up, she's fired. It's just like, we don't want to accept, we believe that because if we have our own business, of course we're not going to fire ourselves, but just making sure that you know, my family is first, but my business is as part of my life as my kids, and as my family. So that, you know, making sure that you set up realistic goals, because so many times, and that happened to me, you know, when I started, you know, years ago, I didn't have realistic expectations. I have to bring my kids to school because now I'm not hiring anybody to do it. I have to pick them up from school. So I cannot do every single thing that I would love to do, right? So making sure that you have all those expectations that, and that, you know, that has to be realistic based on, you know, on your kids, because, you know, kids get sick. I was a single mom, you know, and I have to, you know, 3 kids. If one gets sick, I have to bring the 3 to the doctor's office just to one kid because I didn't have anybody to watch the other 2, or I have to get out of corporate. You know, that was like a mess. So being a business owner, to be, you know, making sure that you do that and you have realistic expectations is important.
Okay. Mercy is asking, one of the challenges as entrepreneur dealing with is the category of male clients who sexualizes, sorry, get a question. Who sexualizes me, and at times you try to be professional, set your boundaries, but it still becomes an issue. It kicks me down because sometimes because I'm very passionate about my business. How do you handle such experiences?
So what I will say, like, if it's, you know, if that's your client, this is one thing. If that's your client, probably we know, like, I do discovery calls to work with people, right? Or now that we are able to meet in person, sometimes I meet them in person. And it's one of the things is many people doesn't listen to the red flags, especially when we get excited because, you know, you want to get the next client or you want to get, you know, close that deal. But, you know, that's part of your boundaries. And like in the way that I deal with that, I just call it out, and it doesn't work. I'm sorry, this is not working out, and that's it. You know, I don't have to work with somebody that is disrespecting me. And that's part of the deal. So what I can tell you is, more than you learn to listen those, you know, red flags, when before you get that client or before you start to work on an organization, whatever it is, and just allowing yourself to say no. You don't have to work with people like that. And I called people out. I call them out, and I know that they're a pain in the neck, and they are, some of them, they're inappropriate. Some of them, they send you inappropriate messages, DMs, and I don't know, you know. Yeah. So just like, you don't have to work with them, and that's going back, you know, if you didn't know, if they start, just talk to them. This, I feel, you know, I feel that you're crossing this boundary. We're working together in X, Y, and Z, or, you know, hopefully, you know, you have a contract. This is, you know, I don't feel comfortable about that. And just like, if you feel that you cannot handle, you know, and you can act appropriate, I cannot keep working with you, and that's it. And this is it. And bye.
Okay. One of the issues you talked about was social media. I know social media is a bit tricky for most people because either you're afraid to show up or being told about algorithms and everything, and gets a bit confusing. You don't know where to start. what would you recommend for somebody starting their business? Which platform would they use? Which would be best ideal for them?
Yes, I will say that, you know, Instagram is a great platform to build community and to warm your leads. So I will say that you have to have Instagram, because Instagram is just like the platform that everybody looks like. You can be on TikTok, but there is an Instagram button. If you are in Clubhouse, there is an Instagram button. If you are in LinkedIn, there is an Instagram button. So you have to have an Instagram. And another, you must start with another, at least 2 platforms. I will say can be Instagram, TikTok. Facebook is still being the platform with more people, watches TikTok, but the generation gap is humongous. So depending on what are, what are you selling, I will say like digging into Facebook, but Facebook also has a lot of glitches. Like my Facebook group is banned and I don't know why.
Yeah.
They couldn't say why, but Facebook is great. But Facebook pages alone, they don't do anything. So it's or like a Facebook group, and you can benefit from another Facebook groups that is not just yours. But I will say, Facebook, I would say TikTok is huge, and Instagram.
TikTok and Instagram. Okay.
Yes.
LinkedIn? Or LinkedIn is a bit difficult?
Everybody say LinkedIn. The thing is, like, I don't like LinkedIn, but everybody say it's just like it's a personal preference. I will say, if depending of the service that you're gonna offer, I know and hear great things about LinkedIn. I don't like it because I just come from corporate, and it's more cold pitching than in any other platform. It's just like I open the ad and it's just like cold pitching. You cannot, I will say, depending on the products or services that you want to offer, right? And also, like, this is me, and in the way that you see me everywhere is going to be the same. But I know that the standards for LinkedIn are different, and I'm not gonna stop being who I am just because to fit the standard of an app.
One other thing also you talk about is probably consistency and self-discipline from your blogs. We'll see you're talking about self-discipline. So maybe you can decide about how we can be self-disciplined, especially in trying to achieve our goal. How able to what's the word? How we're able to follow our dreams and ensure that we're consistent in following up our dreams.
So, so how are you still consistent on following your dreams?
Yes.
That's the question?
Yes.
This is the thing. You have to have like a dream, but a desire, like something that this is it. This is my dream, and this is what I want to do. Like, this is what I want, like really, really bad. Because if it's something that is not like life-changing, it's easy to give up, right? If it's not something that is your why, that is going to be transcendental for you. If you don't get it, you're not going to be happy. So that's the first thing that you want to have, and why you are doing it, right? Because many people think that, okay, I want to have a successful business, but at the end of the day, behind the successful business is why you want to be, right? Because what the money of the business is for. Something else is you're not building a business to have a huge business. You're building a business because you want freedom, traveling, a bigger house, who knows, will help your parents, I don't know. For everybody it's different. So you have to have that in order to to get up and to keep going, because it's not easy. And especially, being a woman is not easy. Having a business and standing up outside in this oversaturated market, whatever it is. So you have to be, you have to be ready. The other thing that I see all the time is like, yes, you set up goals, right? Every year, whatever the goal is going to be. But the biggest mistake is that the people get up and they just go and they work towards that goal without having clear what steps they need every day to reach that specific goal. So what I will say is just like, go ahead and brainstorm, write down, 10 things. And out of the 10 goals, just like circle the one that is going to change your life. And that's the thing that you really wanna. You take that out of the 10 goals. And with that goal, you're gonna start to think, what do you need to do every day to achieve that goal? And that's how you roll. Because if every day you just get up and I want to do that, but it's not in paper and you don't know exactly what you need to do every day in order to accomplish it. Like, do you need to post every day on social media? How many calls you have to make? How many emails you need to send? How many people you need to talk? Because if not, that's the biggest misunderstanding of people, especially with online businesses. I'm posting once a day, I'm going live here and there. You're not gonna get clients like that. You are, but it's gonna take time. At least that you don't pay for ads, and that's a different story. So you have to be, you have to have self-discipline, not just motivation. It's like working out, right? Yeah. When it's just like you have to go and do it, because it's not that people that work out is like, yeah, I'm gonna go and run 10 kilometers today. I'm so excited. There are some days that are really excited. There are some days that are raining and you see the runners outside. Pretty sure that they didn't want to go to run a rainy day, but they just have the self-discipline to do it, like same as an athlete. So same thing with your business. You have to know why you want to do it. You have to have clear that, and you need to know every day what you need to do every day to get closer to that goal.
Okay. Thank you, Catherine, for such an interesting conversation. So Perry, if you can just let people know if they want to connect with you, how they're able to do that, so they can, in case they want more for one-on-one conversation with you.
Yes. They can follow me on social media. They can DM me on Instagram. It's Katherine Beltran Coaching. Or they can go to my website. My information is there. It's katherinebeltran.com. But I'm happy to connect with anybody. I'm always there for everybody. So they can connect and DM me, and we can go from there.
We have another question. So from Mercy, when it comes to managing your business, sometimes we struggle to create boundaries, especially with personal time. You end up prioritizing clients even who call or even text at 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. What's your advice on that?
Oh, same thing. No, this is the thing. Putting boundaries is so important. So if they did it once and if you responded, they are learning your behavior. So just, or you don't email until 10 p.m. or you don't receive calls. If you receive that call at 1 a.m. in the morning, just like wait until next day. And this is the thing, most of the time is the perception that doesn't matter if they're paying you. Just because they pay you doesn't mean that you have to do or make yourself available 24/7. And that's it. This is the way that you can address. And I know that many times is the fear that you're gonna lose the client, but that's a mindset, and that's a limiting belief. Right? It's a limiting belief. You don't have to be chasing the next client over and over. You cannot, it's the fear that you're going to lose that client. It's the fear that what if they're not going to work with me? Is that fear. So instead of thinking like that, that's this little voice on your head And that's why you're getting stressed out, because you know, like I like how I get a 1 a.m. you know, that's the little voice. So instead of listening to that voice, you need to, okay, I hear you, but you know, what if I put the boundaries and that person say like, damn, you know, I have to keep working with this person, right? Or it's gonna recommend you to somebody else. So putting those boundaries, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And you know, if they keep doing it, I'm sorry, I cannot work with you. And that's the thing. You know, this is the energy that you put outside. And if you don't put boundaries, the next person that it comes is gonna be the same, and you're gonna be living the same experience over and over and over.
I totally agree with you. Boundaries is very critical in everything you do in life. You need to make sure you know how far you can go with someone or something, and you stick to it. Otherwise, once you let somebody to just walk all over you without even you realizing what's going on. So you end up not having your own personal space, personal time, and you're going to be able to move forward.
Yeah, yes. And there's so many times that, you know, there's so many times that you just, like I said before, you know these before they hire you. You know these before they start to work with you.
Yes.
Like I can tell you that there are so many times that I know like this person is gonna be a pain in the neck. So why you, you know, like, and there are many times that you say like, okay, I'm gonna get, doesn't matter, I'm gonna sign the contract, you know, or I'm gonna start to work with this person. Don't do that to yourself. If you get this pain in the neck person, you're gonna have a nice one too. So you don't have to do that to yourself, you know. And then it's just like, and if for some reason is that pain in the neck, and you really want to work with that person, you have to put your cards in front of them at the beginning before, because at the end of the day, you're doing this to yourself. You have to, you know, be able to identify the people. It's on the online space, and everybody's talking about like, who is your want to work with, period. Because you have your ideal client coming to work with you, but if you don't want to work with that person, you don't have to say yes. So what are your limiting beliefs? You're believing that you are not going to be able to attract somebody else client, or you just need this client because you know you need the money. You, just to be honest, that, you know, that has happened to everybody at one point, right? You know, but I'm here to tell you, you don't have to do that. You don't have to yes. But at the end of the your sanity, at the end, you are the one that get up to the bathroom at 3 a.m. in the morning thinking about this person, you know, and see like when this is over, and asking yourself, why did I say yes when I should say no? So making sure that you don't do that. And you prevent yourself before you do it. So, so yeah.
So there's a last question again from Lynn. He said, Beltran, you're from Colombia, right? But you're based in the US. So what should one consider when starting a business in a foreign country?
If it's in you know, like an online business, just, you know, get your online business, get to know the culture of the people, get to know, you know, what they think, how they act, what the way they're things. So even that I live, you know, I'm from Colombia and I live here in the United States. If I'm gonna work, I don't work with people that is in Latin America, because their culture and their way that they are and the expectations that they have and everything that is going on is totally different than what is happening here. So that's one of the things that I don't do. But if you're going to put a business in a foreign country, that I will tell you that learn the culture, learn what they want, I don't know what type of business you want to have. If you're going to be a coach, a VA, whatever it is, how you're going to show up on that country, and you know how you're going to target the people. So in the way like with social media, you target the people based on the location, based on the time zone, based on the time that you post. So my best advice will be just get to know the culture, get to know the people, and get to know, you know, what that person expect on that country for the product or service that you're selling.
Okay. Thank you so much. Is there any other question? Katherine, we really appreciate for you giving us the time to come over. I know we've done International Women's Day, we've made it international.
Yes.
From East,
yes.
Because from now, from Africa to America, we'll be able to communicate.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for inviting me. Super happy to be here. And for everybody else, you know, just get into my DM and just let's get to meet each other.
Okay, fantastic. I will share the recording with everyone from your email. So later on tomorrow, so you should be able to like review it if you get a chance, to understand what is going on. But thank you so much for coming through. We'll probably do another session very soon. Yeah. Thank you,
okay,
Katherine.
absolutely. Okay, have a good one.
Okay, bye everyone.